Hello and welcome. I hope you're safe and well. Today's exciting episode, we'll be looking at 27 jackets that I haven't beaded yet because I'm beading something else, but it's not finished yet.
It's perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Perfect jacket.
So I have been using my sewing time for the past few days to work on the Kandinsky jacket, and I've literally, it doesn't look like I've done very much at all. I've just added some to the sleeve, but I swear there are just thousands of, there's got to be thousands of beads in there. They are very tiny. But yeah, and I love the way it's looking. There's this, if you aren't familiar with Kandinsky, I'll get some images. So if you saw my video back in December where I made this jacket, you can skip this part because I'm just going to tell the exact same story because it's my favorite story about Kandinsky. He used to do realist paintings, so you could tell what it was by looking at it. And then one day he had to go out and he, in a rush, and he sort of was rifling through all these paintings to get the one that he had to take to the appointment. And then when he came back, there was on this easel, there was just this amazing painting on there. And it was all these different blues, but it wasn't of anything. And it just blew his mind. It was just the most amazing thing he's ever seen. And actually, it was just one of his paintings of a sky, but it had been turned on its side, so it was non-representational. And then after that, he just did abstract expressionist paintings. He completely changed his paradigm, and I love that capacity for change. I mean, I love the works and the colours in them as well. But yeah, so that's why I bought this fabric and why I'm beading it the way I am. And I'm really happy with the way that it's going, but it is just taking so ridiculously long. So yes, a few people have asked. There will be a video about it eventually, but it's just taking a long time to make. So this video, I'll show you those other 27 jackets that I finished. But I haven't beaded yet, and I'll just sort of quickly tell you where you can get a tweed like this, or and my ideas for how I'm thinking of beading them, or how I have in the past. But yeah, some of them I've had kind of fixed ideas, and then I've recently changed them. I love making plans. What can I say? So these are the first three. They're sort of florally and tree-ish, if you get what I mean. Tree-ish? That's, anyway, the bark of a pine tree. That's what this one looks like to me. And I just love how gnarly and old and weird it is. It's actually a knit rather than a tweed. That's just the way things are made. And I think I bought that one from Mood Fabrics in New York. It was definitely from New York. This one is also from New York. It's an actual tweed, and it looks like an aerial shot of a forest. With like some autumn, like deciduous trees and some evergreens. Not that they would grow that way, but I just love it. And it's got sort of little black lines with, and I was thinking maybe I would just bead the black lines with small beads. But now I'm thinking maybe I'll do bigger brown glass ones. I'm not sure. And this one, I have a really... This is one of my, if you saw my last video and I said, oh, you should go to the galleries and look at Dutch master paintings. Yeah, as you can see, it's actually sort of inspired by this particular Comme des Garçons collection where they took actual Dutch master paintings, printed them on fabric, and then made these dresses and coats out of them. I don't really wear coats so much because I just don't live in a very cold place. But I just thought I'll make a jacket with big puffy sleeves. Completely impractical. The fabric is from Fabworks in the UK, and they don't have this fabric anymore. They sold out just soon after I bought it, like 2-3 years ago. And but they do have similar ones. The decorator fabrics from Fabworks in the UK, and they do ship around the world, I think. And yeah, I just love it. It's so pretty. And I'm going to do beads, like it's going to go bead sequin, and they're going to be in long strings that hang off it, like those there's just some flowers and that sort of hang off. Instead of having an actual flower, they have these sort of strings of flowery things. So yeah, it's going to look like that. It's going to be awesome. But it's just, I guess I was waiting until I had better technique, and I feel like I'm there now. So these are the metallics. This one is Marc Jacobs Gold. And again, I made this in December if you want to see this video. And but I'm doing, I think on Sunday I'll have to, during the tail end of this week, I'll have time to make a tweed jacket, and that's going to be a long episode because I've had loads of people telling me that their New Year's resolution for this year was they're going to make their first jacket for themselves. So I've had a lot of people asking if I'll do a video with a lot more detail. So I'll do a longer one, but it's just I had to wait until I had a block of time to do it. This is another Marc Jacobs one, and it's sort of autumn tones and snow colours mixed together, but it's also metallic. It's just the weirdest, and you sort of move around it, and depending on how glaring the sun is, it sort of glows with this warmth. It's an amazing fabric, and this is a faux leather in gold. I absolutely love it, but it's quite hard to pierce it with a needle. So I think with that one, I might do a separate beaded trim. And then once the entire beaded trim is made, I'll stitch it on there. And that way I'll only have to stitch like way less stitches through the actual faux leather. And the gold Marc Jacobs one, I'm going to do gold and red beads on that one, like a Valentino collection from... I don't know, 2017 maybe. Oh, next up we have I love this tweed so much. They hardly ever make this one. It's called a honeycomb tweed, honeycomb weave, and I think it's kind of obvious why. And then we have the Italian, and we have the one with the fringe, but we'll go with the honeycomb first. It's from Linton Tweeds in the UK, and you just Google it. Their site will be the first one that comes up. And they hardly, as I said, they hardly ever do this one, but they did it once in like gold and this muddy, murky brown, and I think it was white. But it looked like, you know, in cartoons, like with Pooh Bear they sometimes have like that cartoon honey beehive. Yeah, it was those exact colours, and I was tempted to buy it and like bead it with amber gold beads, sort of that, so it would look like dripping honey, but I didn't. But yeah, I think I've got these black beads that have, I'm not sure that's why I've got like over 60 tweeds that I still haven't made into jackets. So yeah, I don't need to buy more tweeds, but I do love this one. And I'm not sure if you can tell, it's there's red and like a really deep red in the bits that look like black, and I've got these black glass beads that have flecks of red on them. And in Australia there's this spider called the redback spider. It's black and it's got this daub of red on the back. And yeah, so I thought I might use those beads on that. Or I suppose I could use them on the Italian. But this middle one's the Italian tweed, and I bought this in 5 different colorways. And this is the volcano colorway. And I made it up in Halloween month, like not last year, the year before. Goodness me, and I still haven't beaded it. Anyway, so yeah, it's going to have sort of, I want the beads to sort of look like lava. So they're this sort of ashy black as well as red and orange ones, and they're just going to be around the neckline, the cuffs, and the hem of the jacket. And this one, I only finished this a few months ago, but I still can't decide how to bead it. I think probably either clear beads or black ones, because I bought that tweed because I just like to have some that I can wear to business meetings. At this point, I've got at least 20 that look conservative-ish, so I don't really need more, but I don't know. Oh, and I didn't put any fringe on the cuffs. Like, I just put it on the jacket, not the cuffs, because I like to be able to write when I'm wearing my jackets, and the fringe on the I've got an actual Chanel jacket that has fringe on it, and the fringe on the cuffs just annoys me. So when I decided to put fringe on, I think I've got fringe on like 5 or 6 of my jackets. Not very many, like one in 10 gets fringe because it takes so long to make. But yeah. I decided to not ever put any on the cuffs because it just annoys me too much. And one of the perks of making your own jackets is that you can just sort of customize them to whatever you want them to look like. So yes, we've got 3 green ones next. Actually, there's 4. I'm going to replace the middle one in a second. But yeah, I do like that bright green one in this middle, but I've got another khaki one, and the 3 khaki ones look absolutely gorgeous together. So first up, we have the dragon scale sequence. Normally, a sequence has a hole in the middle, but the dragon scales or the French sequence have the dot, the hole on one side, and that way you can flick the sequence up and down, and yeah, and that's what makes it look like a dragon scale. So I'm going to put a heart of Midlothian on the back of that one. It looks like a heart made out of blue stones, but it's just, yeah, it's this myth or folk story, I guess, from Edinburgh, where I used to live, and I really love it. The middle one is a green Chanel-inspired tweed, and I just think it looks like springtime. This is an actual Chanel tweed, and it's just gorgeous and dark and really rich colours. I love it. I think I do have some caramelly sort of coloured beads, but I think I might go smoky black beads with this one. And smoky brown, just because, again, I think I do want that one to be a conservative one because it's just such a beautiful tweed, and yeah, I just love it. And next, yeah, so I replaced the bright green one with this one. This is a Linden tweed, and it's in khaki and black, but the same time this one came out in Linden tweed, Chanel, the actual design house, had a pink one in this exact weave, and also a purple one, but I love khaki way more, and so I got that. And oh yeah, it's got this hilarious Italian silk lining that I love too, but again, those 2 khaki ones, the dragon scale one and the olive and black one from Linden tweed, I'm going to do the heart of Midlothian on the back of them, and but sort of, yeah, I've got these long sort of squarish beads and other cone-shaped ones. So they're going to be the same concept but done 2 different ways. And then they're going to have beads on the front, but then this unique design on the back. Well, 2 different versions of it. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to doing those ones. I've had, like, the minute I bought that khaki one, I was like, oh, I know exactly what I'm going to do with this. This is a Chanel tweed, and it's got these teeny tiny blue sequins in the shape of a flower in there. It's just the most amazing tweed. I love it. This is a Linden tweed. This is an amazing one. See how it's sort of got blobs of paint on it? Well, Karl Lagerfeld, so this was ages ago, Karl Lagerfeld wanted a tweed that looked like it was made of moss, and so they made this one but in 2 different greens, sort of khaki, sort of faded greens, and then they made this for their regular customers, and so I bought it, and it's amazing, and I'm still haven't beaded it yet. And then the third one is, I bought this in New York, maybe B&J Fabrics. I'm not sure if it quite recovered from the pandemic. Unfortunately, a lot of expensive, like designer fabric stores sort of folded during the pandemic. But yeah, beautiful tweed, absolutely gorgeous. So it's beige, silver, grey. It's just absolutely beautiful. I think I might use sort of silver grey pearls on that one, and mixed with sort of beige latte coloured ones. I've got quite a few pearls that I need to use up. Not real pearls, obviously glass pearls, and with a pearlized finish. And this one with the tiny little blue flower sequins, I've got some white floral sequins that I think I might use on that one because that'd be amazing. I used half of them last August and I think I'll use the second half. And this one, oh, it's so cute and fluffy. I just want to hug it every time I see it in the wardrobe, hanging in the wardrobe. I just want to hug it. I'm trying to I'm trying to show you how cute and fluffy it is. I'm not sure you can tell, but if you wear it outside or the sun streaming in the window, you can see how fluffy it is, and it's got Angora wool mix. And it's absolutely adorable. This is my Snow White one. It's also a Linton Tweed and it's very bulky. So the pink one in the middle is fluffy but not bulky. But the other one is, quite bulky. So I'm going to have to use heavy beads on the Snow White one. And this pink one in the middle, I'm not sure. Maybe pink beads, maybe white beads, maybe beige beads. Can never quite tell. This one, see, every second square is white. So I'm going to put a coloured bead on there. So I've got blue, yellow, red, and pink transparent glass beads. So it's going to be heavy enough that it weighs it down and it doesn't make it look so bulky. But yeah, it's going to be gorgeous. And then third one, we've got this. It's actually another Linton Tweed, and it's a really conservative one. I like it. It's hot pink, pale pink, white, and there's also some silver foil in there, but it's quite fine. So you can see it when it moves. It glints a bit, but generally speaking, you can't really see the silver in there. But I love all three, and I want them beaded so I can wear them. Next three we have, this is beautiful. This is this design or this weave, this is the only colorway I have it in, and I absolutely love it. It's so, I don't know, it's like from the 1980s or something. It's amazing. And I handmade this trim, this fringe. It took forever using I think there's 6 different yarns in there, or plus lots of different cottons and some metallic thread. Here it is from the back. I had this brilliant idea to use up all my different sized apricot coloured or sort of orangey apricot coloured glass pearls. But, and so I did the centre back panel of the jacket just as a test. And then I extrapolated from that how many beads I would need and how many of the glass pearls I would need. And I just don't have enough. So I either have to buy more. But the reason I'm beading everything is so that I can use up my bead collection. So long story short, I'm going to leave the centre back panel with pearls. And then the rest of the jacket I'm going to do in a mix of different pink and orange beads that are, so that way I'll use up some of the pearls, but and I won't have to unpick what I've already done. But yes, and then the teal one on the right is a tulle based tweed, and that one I bought from Etsy. I do not recommend ever buying tweeds from Etsy because it took 4 months for them to arrive, but it is a beautiful tweed. This may seem familiar because you've just seen one. I'll get the other jacket. It has a twin, and this one is actually finished and I wear it. This one I think has apricot silk lining, and the other one has oh my god, how can I forget? I think one of them has orange silk lining and one of them has apricot silk lining. And this one I used up my ivory coloured glass pearl beads and some beautiful sort of apricot and transparent glass beads that I had. So this one I think I'll do an all over beading, whereas the other one had just the beaded trim. So I made the beaded trim separately on a frame, then I cut it off and I stitched it to the actual jacket. So when I make this one, I will just bead directly, embellish, so bead directly onto the jacket in probably blues, maybe orange. And here we have the last 4. Well, there's 3, but there's one hanging up, and I'll just show you that quickly as well. So I love that middle one. They hardly ever do that weave. So this one is another dreaded Etsy one that took forever to arrive. To be fair, it was during the pandemic, but Etsy just so could not care less that it wasn't arriving. And yeah, it's got lots of different ribbons in there as well as some wool. It's beautiful, but it was very difficult to work with, and it does not photograph well. In real life, it's stunning. And again, I've got lots of grey pearls in a couple of different sizes, as well as some beigey, sort of caramelly latte coloured ones. So, and I've also got some plastic beads that are bigger but not as heavy. So I might mix those around and do sort of just around the collar, cuffs and hem. And that middle one, it's got reds, blues, sort of greys. There's also some purple in there. And I just love it. It's so detailed though, and it's got so many colours in there. I'm never quite sure which colours to pick out. Like red is the obvious one, but I don't really wear red that much. I mean, there's a lot of red in the Kandinsky one that I'm making at the moment, but as a general rule, I think I would wear it more if it had navy beads on there. So maybe navy. And this one, oh my gosh, this is another lint and tweed as well. And it's beige and this really, really sort of greyish mauve colour. And it's got ribbons in there as well. It's just the most beautiful classic tweed that you've ever seen. And I've got some sort of greyish mauve pearls. Oh, these are sort of all the pearl ones, aren't they? I guess I could put pearls on the middle one as well. I've got some lovely ivory pearls. Ugh, I've just got so many beads to use up, and I have all these jackets ready to go. I just am slightly lacking in time, but you know, where there's a will, there's a way. I would love to get a few beaded each month, and that way by the end of the year not sure I'll be able to do all of them, but it would be nice if I had most of them done, because they're just sitting there, and I don't know, I'm a little bit disappointed each year when I still haven't done everything. And this is the last jacket that I've made that is ready to bead. It's actually going to be a floral jacket, so I turned one of them into the plum coloured flower jacket that I'm still working on, and this one I think will be green. So it's green leaves, green palms, and there's some ivy in there as well, and lots of green, bright green hydrangeas, flowers. There's actually 3 different types. It's a little bit hard to see here, but yeah, so it's just going to be really bright sort of greens and mid greens. Quite a few people have asked me, why don't I use, like you can see the apricot jacket there, and that's also got a black base. Why do I use a black base instead of using the color of the flowers? Well, the black base just fades into the background, and I pretty much always wear a black t-shirt underneath, plain black t-shirt and dark jeans, and I'm going to line them with black silk. So it just means that I don't have to cover every square inch in flowers and leaves. It means I can leave some bits black, and it just sort of fades into the background. Once I've actually finished some of them and the linings in there, it will make sense, but I totally get that it doesn't make sense yet, but that is my thinking behind what I do. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you've been inspired to make yourself a tweed jacket. Clearly, I love tweed jackets, and I think everyone should make their own, because it's just, I don't know, I feel like I love my clothes more if I've made them myself and put all that effort in. You also just generally know how much effort goes into each garment, so you treat your clothes better and they last longer. And anywho, I am going to go do some more beading on this Kandinsky jacket, which I am enjoying immensely. It's got so many different bright, vibrant colours in it. It's so cheerful and optimistic. It's absolutely what I need at the moment. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to do something like this, but beading, you haven't really done much beading, you could do it with wool or ribbons. You could thread them through, then tie them and knot them to keep them in place, and that way you'd have that flickering streamer effect, but you wouldn't have to do any beading. Plus, this is getting quite heavy. So yeah, I'm rather annoyed that I've just got a little bit, like an hour or so more to do on the top of the shoulder, and then this sleeve will be done, I think. Then I've still got the other sleeve to do, the back to finish, and the whole of the front isn't done yet at all. So lots more work to do on this jacket, but it's awesome to work on. I love the vibrancy of all the colours. Anyway, thanks again for watching and happy sewing.